Excellencies, ambassadors and representatives of states and governments, representatives of Ministry of Justice and Ministry of Education, President of the panel of judges and worthy judges, distinguished guests and speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before you speaking is KANZAYIRE, a young lady concerned so much about one heinous crime, challenging the world due to its very high capability of staying in shadows, human trafficking. I'm privileged and highly honored to be unveiling the truth behind the tricky ways through which this heinous crime happens all around the world, due to how much many people are not aware of its tricky ways. One might think to themselves, who doesn't know about human trafficking? We watch movies, we see pictures on the internet, we listen to radio theaters. However, ladies and gentlemen, these artworks only portray a little portion of the truth. Also known as modern slavery or trafficking in persons, this is the recruitment, transportation, harbor, or receipt of people through force, fraud, or deception for exploitation purposes to get profit, as it was clearly defined by the United Nations. The most common purposes of these are sexual exploitation that accounts for 79%, and forced labor that accounts for 18%. Other purposes including organ removal or engaging victims in petty crimes or even the army. Yet they are actually promised opportunities like jobs and education. For the perpetrators, the demand for cheap labor and sex is the driving factor of human trafficking in persons. Vulnerability then fuels this to the maximum, where the most targets are refugees, illegal citizens, homeless youth, and the children, and people who have psychological problems. Ladies and gentlemen, due to many factors that modern slavery takes, it is so hard to precisely say that a certain number of people are involved in this international trade. However, the global estimates jointly conducted and published by the International Labour Organization, the Work Free, and the United Nations International Organization for Migration, they approximate about 50 million of people worldwide to be victims of human trafficking. 56% of whom are in forced labors and 44% of whom are in forced marriages. 34% are children, and females are predominant, especially in the commercial sexual slavery, accounting for an 80% in the private sectors alone, where many cases are actually found. This marks a 20% increase since 2018, and these are publications from the United Nations on September 2022. And I would highlight again that the countries with most prevalence are North Korea, Eritrea, and Mauritania. Today's highlight, the youth. As was published in January 2023, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes reported the most worldwide victims to be between the age of 15 and 29. Yet, shockingly, the most perpetrators are between the age of 18 and 29, and youth as well. Ladies and gentlemen, African victims make up 14% of the world's count, with 54% victims in the forced labor and 46% in forced marriages. In Africa, there is a 36% of government responses, with Nigeria having the highest percentage and Eritrea the lowest. Rwanda, such a peaceful nation, is thought by many to have no such crimes. However, before the first validated research conducted by the NGO Never Again Rwanda in 2019, most researchers left the nation out. However, the Global Slavery Index report of 2023 shows a 0.4% of Rwanda's population to be in modern slavery. By the time of Never Again Rwanda's research, 85 cases of trafficking in persons had been reported by the High Court Chamber for International Crimes, and 311 cases had been reported by the Directorate General of Immigration and Immigration. In the 2023 Trafficking in Persons report, 263 trafficking victims had been identified by the government, Though these numbers are relatively low, these are still proof that there is no country exempted from such inhumanity. Ladies and gentlemen, modern slavery is a complex system of interconnected root causes. In fact, it generates approximately 50